Real estate exam questions with answers and explanations, part number 4. A buyer waives the home inspection contingency. What does this mean? A. The buyer cannot back out of the contract. B. The buyer will still require repairs. C. The buyer is not allowed to view the property again. D. The buyer accepts the property as is, without inspection. Correct answer, D. The buyer accepts the property as is, without inspection. Waiving the inspection contingency means the buyer gives up the right to ask for repairs or cancel the contract based on the results of a home inspection. For example, the buyer waived the inspection, so they couldn't request repairs after finding a plumbing issue. Which of the following is true about dual agency? A. It's legal in all 50 states. B. It always benefits the seller. C. It must be disclosed and agreed to by both parties. D. It requires the agent to represent only the buyer. Correct answer, C. It must be disclosed and agreed to by both parties. Dual agency is when one agent represents both buyer and seller. It is legal in some states, but only with full disclosure and written consent from both sides. For example, the agent explained dual agency and had both parties sign a consent form. What is the primary purpose of an escrow account in a real estate transaction? A. To pay off the mortgage. B. To store commissions for the agent. C. To hold funds until all conditions of the sale are met. D. To guarantee closing happens on time. Correct answer, C. To hold funds until all conditions of the sale are met. The escrow account holds the buyer's deposit and other funds safely until both parties fulfill their obligations, like inspections, financing, and title transfer. For example, the buyer's earnest money was placed in escrow until closing. A property is listed as is. What does this usually mean? A. The price is negotiable. B. The seller will pay for repairs. C. The seller won't make any repairs. D. The buyer must finance the repairs through the lender. Correct answer, C. The seller won't make any repairs. As is means the seller is selling the property in its current condition and does not intend to make repairs or improvements. For example, the home was sold as is, and the buyer accepted the cracked foundation. What does contingent status on a listing usually indicate? A. The seller is still accepting offers. B. The sale is final and closed. C. The seller hasn't listed the home yet. D. An offer has been accepted but certain conditions must still be met. Correct answer, D. An offer has been accepted but certain conditions must still be met. A contingent status means a buyer and seller have agreed on an offer, but the deal depends on contingencies like financing or inspection. For example, the listing showed contingent because the buyer still needed to secure a loan. A buyer's financing falls through after the loan contingency has expired. What can happen? A. The buyer automatically gets their earnest money back. B. The seller is required to extend the closing. C. The buyer may lose their earnest money deposit. D. The contract is voided without penalty. Correct answer, C. The buyer may lose their earnest money deposit. If the financing contingency has already expired and the buyer can't close due to loan denial, they are in default and may forfeit the deposit. For example, the buyer lost their deposit when financing failed after the deadline. What is the purpose of a final walkthrough? A. To renegotiate the purchase price. B. To conduct a new inspection. C. To ensure the home is in the agreed-upon condition. D. To appraise the home again. Correct answer, C. To ensure the home is in the agreed-upon condition. A final walkthrough allows the buyer to confirm the home is in the same or better condition and that agreed repairs, if any, were completed. For example, During the final walkthrough, the buyer saw that the broken window had been fixed. A seller receives multiple offers. What can the listing agent legally do? A. Disclose the details of all offers without permission. B. Accept the highest offer automatically. C. Present all offers and advise the seller. D. Reject all offers without telling the buyers. Correct answer, C. Present all offers and advise the seller. The agent is legally required to present all offers and can help the seller compare them, but cannot accept or reject offers without the seller's direction. For example, the agent reviewed 5 offers with the seller, helping them choose the most favorable terms. What is a short sale? A. A sale that closes in under 30 days. B. A sale where the seller owes more than the home is worth. C. A sale with no financing involved. D. A sale of a property under construction. Correct answer, B. A sale where the seller owes more than the home is worth. In a short sale, the lender agrees to accept less than the mortgage balance because the home's market value is lower than the debt. For example, the seller had to get lender approval for a short sale because they were underwater on the mortgage. Who typically pays the commission to the real estate agents? A. The buyer. B. The seller. C. The lender. D. The home inspector. Correct answer, B. The seller. In most transactions, the seller pays the commission for both the listing and buyer's agents, usually from the proceeds of the sale. For example, the seller agreed to pay a 6% commission, split between the 2 agents.